So Rich is celebrating 20 years with AAMA. What do I think of when I think of Rich Walker? I think of Mexican food, mostly Chipotle and Del Taco. I think of Pinot Noir, hiking, dogs, and of course little Maddie May.
I mean, when I think of Rich and the time that we've had here, it just is like a family, so I think of him kind of like a family member.
I think of baseball and Ohio. I love that he is based in Ohio because that's my home state as well, so we have that in common.
I think of somebody who I really respect and enjoy working with.
I think of his laugh. I mean, whenever he's in the office, you can tell because you can hear his laugh, and it just shows what a joyful person he is.
I think of a good leader, and I think that's why our company has survived for as long as it has. And I think that's a true tribute to him for the 20 years that he's given his service to this company.
I think he's passionate about what he does. He cares a lot about what he does, and it's not just a job to him. He wants to make this better, and he wants to get other people interested in it as well.
I think he's super happy all the time. He's super peppy to talk to. I think he's pretty cool.
When I first started at AAMA, I was Rich's assistant. It's hard to believe that was 10 years ago. At the time, Rich was the executive vice president. I really didn't know what to expect working for someone in that position, but he's really down to earth. Even during my interview, I remember feeling comfortable like I already had the job. We had a lot of laughs over on the north side. And no, that's not a Cubs reference, that's just what we used to call our corner of the office. There were plenty of practical jokes too, like the time we decorated Rich's office all in pink, his favorite. We definitely worked hard, but we had a lot of fun too.
Happy 20th anniversary, Rich. You make my job some days very interesting with when I send out office supplies requests. I get requests coming back for Lay's cappuccino chips, Christmas moon pies, candy corn, other far off crazy things that I think are mostly impossible to order out of our office supply catalog. I did talk to Cousin Eddie and Clark. They told me to wish you a happy 20th anniversary, and if you ever want to go cruising around in the RV, they said you know exactly where to find it.
Rich is a very serious man. He does not tell jokes at all. I've never heard him say anything funny or demeaning or made fun of anybody else ever.
I have this coat on, it's because this is the only way you'll be able to recognize me because your office is -0 degrees. Just wanted to say congratulations on 20 years with AAMA. Thank you for all that you do. And those baby pictures that you put in open and general session, they're the only reason I attend. Happy anniversary.
I'm not sure where it came from, but years ago, at one of the Christmas parties, one of the White Elephant games, this toilet seat came up. And I don't even remember who brought it, but he had it in his office, and I'm not even sure where, probably under the credenza or something. And I don't think it's there anymore, but every once in a while when there'd be a few of us meeting just with Rich in his office about something, sometimes his response to a statement or a question was simply to pull out this toilet seat and hold it up. And it was kind of a wordless response, and everybody got the message.
One thing that's fun is to tease him about pink, because he loves it so much. He loves the color pink.
There's kind of a funny story that I know at one point in time, Rich and Diane's dogs got skunked, and he was telling me about this fabulous de-skunking shampoo that Diane found. And lo and behold, that next weekend, come Sunday night around 7 o'clock Central Time, my husband and I find ourselves in a situation where both of our dogs got skunked, and at 7 o'clock on a Sunday, there aren't very many stores and pet stores open. So here I am calling Rich, hoping that I can find out what this magic de-skunking shampoo was. I caught him and Diane in the car. I think they were on their way home from dinner or something. And so they gave me the lowdown on what to do, and I ran around and tried to find it. And then at Christmas that year, I think he pulled my name for Secret Santa and actually got me 2 bottles, which was fabulous. We actually haven't had the dog skunked since that time, although we did loan the shampoo out to a friend once. But it's been a good omen to have it in the house because so far they stay skunk free, and now I'm going to knock on wood because I'm panicked that I'm going to go home tonight and my dogs are going to get skunked. But anyway, that was fabulous. So I was very thankful that he was available, which is very typical for him, and very willing to help out in that situation.
I think the funniest memory I have is more so an email that he has sent to me. He used to send in his expense report this little dog that would come up, and he later explained what it was. But every once in a while, I'd open up his expense report, and there would be the dog picture. That would kind of make me laugh. That was unexpected.
I guess the funniest thing is when he sees me coming to his office. He either hides behind the door or even goes under the desk or pretends he's on the phone. But probably the funniest really is when he sees the three of us in the meetings department, Florica and Kadeen and I, walking up, and he's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? So it's really funny.
One of the funnier things is I remember he scared Tamara. That was actually like a month ago. He hid behind her cubicle, and the wall of her cubicle, and when she turned the corner, he jumped out at her and she screamed. And I thought that was really funny.
I had been with AAMA maybe 2 or 3 years, and he likes to jab at people, and so I thought I'm gonna jab back, and I took his headshot and made his hair pink and his mustache pink and sent it to him and said that was what I was gonna send to the magazines, was the revised headshot for him. And then ever since then, it's been game on, and there have been very embarrassing videos and photos that have been used in opening general sessions. So if you like to bring it, he'll definitely retaliate. So make sure that you're ready for that if you should ever do anything.
Rich, congratulations on your 20-year anniversary with AAMA. It is an achievement that should not be downplayed. 20 years of tenure with any company is a rare thing these days, and something that you should be proud of. Unfortunately, I've only been there a little over a year now, so I don't have a lot of funny stories to tell about you. It seems like every time we're on a conference call together, some kind of disaster seems to happen to you. We'll be talking about whatever the issue or the project is, and suddenly there will be a giant crashing in the background. I always imagine one of 3 things happening to you at that, when I hear all that great cacophony of noise. First is that you went to a closet and opened the door, and a giant mound of boxes and sports equipment and various other junk just kind of falls down on top of your head. The second is you get up to go and get a cup of coffee, and you just slip on a banana peel and come crashing down right in the middle of the office. And the third, maybe the most cool thing, is that as you're sitting there on the conference call, some kind of nefarious character sneaks up behind and grabs you, and you have some kind of cool action movie type fight scene where there's lots of crashing and throwing stuff. All those disasters that seem to happen to you, in my mind, it always seems to come out okay for you, because you're always there for work the next day and for the next call. So
I wonder if this was part of the initiation of being a new employee, but when I was playing in the golf scramble with him, he tried to dump me out of the cart. He did. He tried to dump me out of the cart.
I really like your mustache. I want to know how to grow it one day.
I mean, Rich is real good at what he does. He's real good at wrangling a lot of the members sometimes. He helps keep them all under control and directed and heading in the same direction, so we get to a similar outcome.
I first met Rich shortly after I started, and I just remember thinking that he was so warm and welcoming. So early on, after I started, Ken Brendan retired, and we had a big party for him. And I just remember the time and pleasure he took in making this really funny presentation. It's kind of a parting gift to Ken, who had been here for so many years. And it was so personal and so funny and so enjoyable, and everyone just loved it. And he just looked so happy presenting it, and I just remember thinking, like, oh, he really cares about the people who work here. He really cares, and you can tell. And that just goes such a long way.
In the 3 years I've been with AAMA, I've actually got to see how great your personality is, your leadership, your professionalism. It's also exemplified in the excellent staff that you employ here. You're a prime example of our AAMA's core values and a true role model for us to follow.
I think that everyone I've met who's been associated with AAMA has had nothing but something really good to say about Rich.
I met Rich on my first day at AAMA. I walked through the door and he was the first person I encountered. He said, "You must be Lorraine, welcome to AAMA." And I didn't realize that he was our president and CEO, which was, you know, pretty nice. And I felt very, you know, put me at ease, and I felt very welcome.
I love your sense of humor. You always have a way of making me laugh at my desk and put a smile on my face when you send me emails with these funny little clip arts. So I appreciate that and welcome them every time you send them. I also get a kick out of the nicknames you've given me, like the Terminator, for all the people I delete in the database, and for the Rainmaker when I process the corporate renewals. We also, we're both dog lovers. I appreciate your compassion that you've shown to me when I lost my best friend Princess, and also when I adopted my new best friend Tia. You showed me kindness, concern, and sympathy at that time, and I truly appreciate that. These are some of the little things that I'm going to always remember about you. Once again, congratulations on your service with AAMA, and I hope that you have continued success always. And once again, I hope that you'll always be here for many more years to come. It's a pleasure working for you, and I wish you the best of luck always.
I think what makes him a great CEO of AAMA is that he not only cares about AAMA, but he cares about the people working for AAMA and the way it impacts the people that are associated, the members and everybody associated with AAMA.
When I think of Rich, I think of all the core values. He leads by example, and that is what makes him an excellent CEO and president. When I send out something for the managers to review and approve, he is always the first one to send it back in. It's usually waiting in my inbox when I return the next day. He is always so prompt with his expense reports, as I usually have them the day he travels and returns home or the next day. He rarely has any receipts missing, and I know that the report will always be in the same order. He always has the expense report sheet, then the flight information, his car rental, his hotel, usually his few restaurants, which are to the same place, especially if he's in Schaumburg. It's always very predictable. Most of what I sent to Rich over the past 6 years is the same thing. I ask him to approve and review things, to code, and finally to sign. Wherever he may be traveling or in his Ohio office, he always makes it a priority. So I thank him for making my job easier, as I know that when I ask him to do something, I always will receive a response back a short time later.
He likes to go hiking in national parks that have these natural stone formations and so forth out west. My wife and I like the Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, that area. And Rich goes out there on his vacations and always sends back some of the best photographs that I've ever seen anywhere. But that's on a personal basis.
He's also very reasonable and level-headed. He takes everything in stride. There's kind of a funny, but maybe not a funny story related to that. Dating back to years ago, I was at a Southeast Region meeting with Rich and Florence and Dean, and for some reason I had the rental car, which is unusual when Florence is there. So I was driving the four of us to dinner, and to make a long story short, we very, very narrowly escaped what could have been a horrific car accident due to the fact that the car in front of me had no brake lights, tail lights, or turn signals that were in use, and we almost slammed into them. So we ended up skidding down the highway sideways until finally one of the tires gave out, and we kind of came to a skidding stop in the median of the road. And we got out, and Rich remained very calm, kind of kept us all settled down. Nice people on the side of the road helped us change the tire, and then we made our way off and had our dinner. So that's an unwork-related story about Rich being level-headed. But he's a very even-keeled, calm, and stable source and kind of presence in everything that AAMA does, which is an outstanding attribute to have in a leadership role. He places high value and priority on family, which is really important to me and to pretty much all of the employees here at AAMA. Makes a huge difference in our work environment. And he's really excellent at acknowledging and rewarding employee contributions and efforts that people put forth. So those, I think, are major attributes among a number of other things that make him a great president and CEO.
I think what makes Rich a great leader is that he entrusts all of us to do the job that we've been hired to do, and he asks us for counsel when needed, and otherwise he lets us do what we know needs to be done, and he trusts that it gets done well.
He is always very attentive to people's needs and birthdays and anniversaries, celebrations, things like that. And now we have a chance to actually do something for him. Well, I've been here for 30 years now, and so he's been for almost 20, so I've known him since he's been here. I've worked directly with him for the past 10, 11 years since I've been meetings manager. He's a very AAMA person. He loves AAMA. He does everything that in his power to do the best for AAMA. He's not demanding. He lets people do their jobs. I would have to say that the big reason that I've been here for so long is because of Rich. He is wonderful to work with. He just trusts that you do your job, and if there's any questions or you come to any problems, he's always there. He's always available. He's just a good man. He's a good person, loving. He's family oriented. He's always there to come and ask, how's this going? How's that going? How's your family? How are your kids? Things like that. Grandkids now. So now I'm excited that he and Diane have the opportunity to have a grandchild, and with Maddie, they will enjoy her very much. I get a kick out of him when I ask him something or his opinion, and he says, "Yes, Florence." So I really get a kick out of that. He makes me laugh. He even says it in emails, so I can just see his face, and it makes me laugh.
I think there's a lot of bosses out there who could learn a lot from you just based on how you lead.
My first interaction with Rich was when I was hired 9 years ago. I remember it so clearly. I was in his office waiting for him. He was taking the stairs as his part of his exercising. That's his way of exercising when he's in the office. As soon as I saw him, as soon as I met him, just such a good vibe, amazing, just like was my dad. I really felt so comfortable, and I just knew it. I felt like adopted immediately, and he's just the best. I call him my favorite Mr. Walker, and I can tell you, I love him. I really do. He's my favorite.
Within the first few months of starting at AAMA, I attended a vinyl webinar, and Angela asked me to give a summary to a few people on staff, and Rich was one of them. And based on my summary, it was kind of obvious that I wasn't technically familiar with all of the aspects of manufacturing vinyl. And so based on that, Rich offered to explain the manufacturing process in layman's terms to me. And that showed me that he really does care about every single person at AAMA, and he didn't ask someone else to explain that to me. He took it on himself. That just shows the kind of person he is.
Just for my birthday was in October 18th, and we were at the conference, and I was just surprised with a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Instantly having tears in my eyes, did not expect it, so he's funny things to me are just straight going to my heart.
And Rich doesn't make you feel bad for the things that you don't know. I think he does a really good job of teaching you and encouraging you to learn. And that's something that I've noticed with everyone in the office. And I think that in part just because everyone's a nice person, but partly because he sets the example, and that's the tone that he sets for the office. I think the fact that he's so humble, and he takes the effort to say hi and bye to everyone when he's in the office, so he makes everyone feel important.
Well, he's just so caring, and it's not just about the employee that he cares, it's also their family, and that's very rare, especially for somebody in such a high position, to be so friendly and open, and it's just a wonderful experience working with him. And he's really just been such a pleasure and involved in my life and my kids' life, and I just really admire that he takes the time out to be with his employees. It's admirable.
The thing I've always admired about Rich is his flexibility and ability to change with changing requirements. By education, my understanding is that he's a chemical engineer, and the early part of his career was in the polymer industry, and very successfully. And then he made the transition to the fenestration industry 20 years ago. But then came the big jump, and that was going from a technical assignment, he was one of the technical directors, to, I believe the title at the time was Executive Vice President. And that's going from technical work and responsibilities basically to the people business. Not easy to do, especially in an organization such as ours, where our membership represents a broad range of different materials and products, but we are a material neutral organization. He's been very successful all these years at bringing us ahead, bringing us along as opportunities have changed, and keeping everyone rowing in the same direction.
I compare Rich a lot with my dad. I lost my dad 5 years ago. So to me, it's just like looking at my dad. I literally just think like it's my dad. There is no resemblance, physical resemblance, but I know I can, if I have something to say, I can directly go and talk to Rich, no matter what it is, work, non-work, whatever it is, it's someone that I could just go and talk to. I cannot express my gratitude to have him part of my life. I've learned a lot from Rich, I'm learning still from Rich, and don't you dare retire.
One of his strengths, I think, is that he listens. If you notice in meetings, staff meetings, board meetings, and so forth, when he's got something to say, there's a reason for it. Up until that point, he's listening. A lot of leaders don't do that. And at the same time, once he's got something to say, it's worthwhile, and he listens to his staff. If he asks for input, he takes it seriously. It's not just for show. And I think that's a sign of an intelligent leader as well.
Well, actually, right after I started, I signed up with my mom's company to do the American Lung Association Fight for Air Climb, where you climb up all 4 presidential towers in downtown Chicago. You climb up the stairs. I asked Karen if I could send out the fundraiser link, because we had to raise a minimum of like $100. She was like, yeah, of course, send it out. And at the time I was working at AMC as well, and I sent it to my bosses at AMC, and I had it on Facebook, and I was texting friends about it, and I sent it out to the people at AAMA. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything. I was brand new, I was just an intern. Nobody donated from AMC. But I did get several donations from the office, and Rich actually wound up paying like $50 of the $100 that I had to get by the first day, by the climb. But I was just so touched that, the CEO of this company that I just started interning at, and he didn't know me. Thank you so much for creating such, a family-like environment. And, I was only here for a couple weeks, and I already felt like I was part of this AAMA family. Thank you very much for everything that you do for the association and the members. And cheers to many more years. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks for all you've done for me and for AAMA. Congratulations on your 20th anniversary, Rich.
Congratulations on 20 years. Hope that there's many more years to come. Appreciate everything that you do for our members, for our staff, and for AAMA in general.
Congratulations, Rich. Like I said, I love working with you. I wish you many more years at AAMA, and just thank you for being the boss that you are.
Congratulations, Rich, on your 20-year anniversary at AAMA. I think I speak for everyone in the office when I say that we couldn't ask for a better leader. It's truly a pleasure to work for someone so hardworking and kind, so thank you.
Happy anniversary on 20 years. Congratulations.
Rich, it's been a pleasure. The 20 years that I've been here with you, it's been a lot of fun and serious and fun. So I wish that you will continue for many more, and look forward to working with you some more years.
So congrats on 20 years at AAMA. The association is very lucky to have you as our CEO and president, and I hope you are here for many more years.
Congratulations on 20 years, and I hope that we get to work together for a lot longer.
Well, I'd like to say congratulations on completing 20 years at AAMA, and I hope and wish you much success in all the coming years to come.
Congratulations, Rich. Here's to many more successful years. Thank you.
Congratulations on 20 years with the association, and I hope it's a long career ahead. Thanks for everything.
My favorite Mr. Walker, I love you from the bottom of my heart. I don't care if it's appropriate or not. You are part of my life, my family lives. You've been there, you held Johnny on the first day when he came home from the hospital. I have the picture Rich holding my little Johnny on his arm. He came home. When I was in hospitals, Rich came there to visit. When I was succeeding, Rich took the time to congratulate me and assure me I'm on the good path. And thank you for being who you are. Never change, stay the same. And from the bottom of my heart, I truly love you.
Congratulations. You are wonderful to work for, so I hope that you stick around for a lot longer.
I'd like to say congratulations to Rich on achieving 20 years with AAMA. It's a great organization, and it's even better due to your leadership. We're lucky to have you. Congratulations. Have a great celebration.